Hello, welcome to Veteran Voice. I'm Larry McCullaugh, be your host again today. Got a couple of special guests on today. We're going to talk about the American Legion baseball program. It's been around for a long time. I know a lot of people go out and enjoy the games, so we wanted to spend about a half hour talking about the baseball program and how it helps and benefits the people here in Paducah. My guest today is on the left is Hardy Gentry, he's past commander of the American Legion, and wears many, many hats, especially when it comes to the baseball program. Hardy, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Larry. Glad to be here.
We got Ed Taylor. He's the how do you describe it? The voice of American Legion baseball.
That's him.
So he's not a stranger at all to being with a microphone and talking about what's going on. Ed, welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Good. Hardy, you want to go ahead and start? Let's talk about when the American Legion baseball program first got started and how it's progressed over the years. And
Okay. Well, of course, American Legion Baseball started back in 1920, I think 1926, as far as the national program was. Post 31 fielded a team in 1938, their first team, and that team went on to win the state tournament. But we have fielded a team ever since 1938. Post 31 has sponsored a team, put a team on the field continuously since 1938. Let me read, except for 2 years, and that's 1944, 43 and 44, I believe, during World War II. They did not. But other than that, they have sponsored a team or two and had teams ever since then. So we're very proud of that.
you should be. That's quite an extended time to keep a team going, because I know it takes a lot of work from a lot of people, including not only the players but their parents, to make sure that they get to the practices and the games, and the people that man the stadium out there to sell the concessions and stuff. So it does take a lot to keep it going.
It does. It's a process that a lot of people, when baseball season's over in August and September, it doesn't really stop for the people that run Brooks Stadium and Post 31, because we're putting together our fundraisers for the fall and the winter. We're lining up people to work the following spring, and so it's a year-round project. And we have a lot of good and it's all volunteers. No one gets paid. It's a volunteer thing that Post 31 does, and we're all very glad to do it. It means a lot to us because it's a very rewarding program. We found that all the young men that's played baseball for Post 31 over the years, a lot of them have come back into this area and been very successful. And we're very proud of that. Some of them went on to play Major League Baseball, and we're equally proud of that too.
So it's been a good springboard to get fellows. A lot of them go to college and play baseball after that.
A lot of them go to college. Most of them do go to college that want to go. Post 31 has a very, very fine record of making sure that if a young man has the grades and has the ability and wants to go to college, we will find him a place to go to school. Now, it might not be the University of Kentucky, or it might not be the University of Louisville, or one of the major universities, but it might be a junior college. But I've seen a lot of young men leave a junior college springboard and play a couple of good years and then go on to a four-year school and finish up and do quite well.
So grades are a criteria for being able to be on the team then?
Criteria for Post 31 baseball is you have to be in high school. You've got to be in school, you have to have the grades, and to play Post 31 baseball. You cannot play 31 baseball, Post 31, if you're not in school.
So you're trying to get the cream of the crop in there. How do you pick the members for the team? Is that do you have tryouts, or do you guys go out and scout?
We do have tryouts. In fact, we just finished last weekend. We had tryouts on Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. We tried out. We have a junior and a senior legion, and we tried out both days. And then after the end of the tryouts on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, the coaches get together, and then they will pick the teams. They will pick, and we have 18 kids. We have 18 ball players on the junior team, 18 young men on the senior team, and those two teams will be picked by the coaches.
You know about how many usually come and try out?
Yeah, we were very proud this year. I was very proud. And that's another thing. We hate to cut kids. I mean, we had like 42 42 kids at the juniors, and we had about 30, probably about 30 for the senior tryout. But we had 42 young men, and that's from 14 to 17 on our junior legion that tried out. And that's a big number, and we're real proud of
it.
it.
It is. That's very commendable, knowing that many people want to participate.
Right,
But I think something else. This year, the high schools in the area are starting a high school program during the summer. And a lot of those kids, normally that would come out for Legion, some of them did, and they felt pressure from their high school to stay with them, but some came anyway. And probably, if not for that, it had more tryout for the junior Legion team than we did.
So they've got to make a decision
Right.
early on then who they want to play for.
Right.
Well, Ed, they say you're the voice up there that does the play-by-play. How long have you been doing that?
Legion about 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
But I took over when Bob Swisher decided to quit right in the middle of the season, if I can remember. And I've been doing it since. But I was doing ball games prior to that at Tillman for many years before.
So you've used. I've always admired you guys because I can never remember. I mean, the way you know the fellas' names just like that. The way you can cook them off. Do you get to know the players personally? Very much.
Yeah, I do. Around here now, football you don't get to know all those because there's so many.
There's quite a bit bigger team when you're talking about a football team.
You got 22 on the field and 45 or 50 on the sidelines, so it's kind of tough. Yes, it goes by numbers mostly on that, but in baseball, you're closer to them, or in basketball, you are.
So you obviously enjoy doing the baseball program.
I enjoy doing that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, Hardy, we talked about the tryouts. How big an area did the fellas come from? I mean, are they restricted from McCracken County, or if they're, say, in southern Illinois or in a different county, are they allowed to?
No,
what are the boundaries?
The boundaries for us are we have 5 high schools in McCracken County. And then we have Ballard and Carlisle County, and that's our drawing area there. Okay. Well, then we have Christian Community, which is now there's 6 high schools, and I keep forgetting those guys, but they'll send us 1 or 2 ball players occasionally, and so we have 6 high schools plus Ballard and Carlisle. So that's our recruiting area. You can't go across state lines. Metropolis has a team. And
they do.
Yep. They have a senior legion over there, so they.
Now, do you play them like during the regular season?
Okay. They'll play them during the regular season.
So is there a certain area that you will play teams during the regular part of the year?
Yeah, I should have got it out here. I'm reaching my billfold. I'll get our schedule out for the year, and I'll just call off a couple here, Larry.
Yeah, I was curious if they came from like out of state.
Oh yeah.
We play a lot of out of state teams.
We play all over the country now. We will start we've got a couple of away games, but our home season opens June the 14th at home. We're playing Evansville, Indiana, and Moorhead, Kentucky, and Mayfield will come in for a weekend and play here at Brooks Stadium. So it's called a round robin. They'll play each other, okay? Then let's see. Then we're at Calvert City, which that's Marshall County, Post 236. They have a team. We'll play them. We're playing a junior and senior up there, so it's a double hitter. Our juniors and seniors will play both those teams. Then we go June the 20th. We're on the road. We're at home with Newburgh, Indiana. Then we're on the road with Owensboro. We'll play Owensboro Post at Kentucky Wesleyan University up there for a doubleheader on a Saturday. Sunday, we'll go over to Newburgh. We'll go over to University of Evansville's College Field and play Newburgh, Indiana, and then we're back home to play Ziegler, Illinois at the 24th. So we do a lot of traveling.
Yeah,
they do a lot of traveling. They play a lot of teams, and
on the Ed, when they travel, do you go and do the booth there and broadcast from there?
Right.
Okay.
The big tournament will probably be the 3rd through the 6th of July when we go down to Columbia, Tennessee.
Right.
In that tournament, we have teams from about 8 different states in there, and 16 teams, kind of a round robin thing, and that's big down there. We'll play it at 3 or 4 different locations.
Yeah, it's called the Columbia invitational tournament, which is played at Columbia Junior College in Columbia, Tennessee, which is about, 30 miles
Out of Nashville.
south of Nashville, down there at the Saturn plant, where the Saturn plant's in Columbia.
Yeah.
And what it is, that is all the state champions from the previous year. If you were a state champion, they invite those teams up. So you'll have about 16 state champions from all over the country will come in there and play. So
So you got some pretty good competition there
Yeah.
when you're playing there.
You'll find out how good you are real quickly.
Yeah,
there.
you measure how good you are, and like I say, 2 years ago, Columbia, Tennessee won the World Series. They won it.
They won it last year.
Yeah, well, last year
Yeah.
they won it.
Really?
Yeah.
You got some pretty good players down there, apparently.
Yeah, they did. They're real good. But Paducah went down there, 2 years ago and beat them. So, I mean, you never know. But Paducah is probably one of the, and I'm bragging because I'm in Paducah, but we're one of the elite programs in the country. I get letters, emails from all over the country inviting Paducah to come and play in their tournaments, all the way from New York to Connecticut to California to Alaska.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And, because they know that we have a very good ball club, a very competitive ball club. And, we're, and our young men and people, when they travel, they're very polite, very nice, and they act accordingly. And so people like to have us come,
Good ambassadors,
Oh, yeah.
more or less, for
Plus,
Western Kentucky.
Well, I think Paducah Post 31 would be a little like the University of Kentucky's following. We have a big following when we go out of town, and our people are like the University of Kentucky. We fill the restaurants, we fill up the hotels, and they spend a little money. So
And the nice thing
that's
about
what
it,
they like about
the
it.
mothers that go along have to take care of the uniforms after
Yeah.
every game, and they do a great job
Yeah,
in
they
doing
do all
that.
the laundry.
So when a young man gets involved, it's a family type of thing?
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
family thing. It's the whole family gets involved. Mom, dad, grandma and grandpa, uncles, aunts. So it's and we make it that way. We make it a family affair. We meet with the family. Once we the coaches establish the team and gets the kids, and we get their insurance and get their uniforms. We have what we call a team meeting. We bring all the parents and all the kids into the post, and we sit down and might have a little potluck dinner or something. We'll have a little something for them to eat, and we'll get together and we'll make some speeches, and we'll tell them what we expect of them, what we'd like them to play, and how we'd like them to act when they're on the road. And because we tell them that once you put on a Post 31 uniform, you're representing the American Legion, not just a baseball team. You're representing over 2 million veterans, and you're representing over 700 Legionnaires in Paducah alone. So we want you to act like, fine young men that you are. And they all seem to really like that, and they like that thing. And like I say, if you ever seen them out somewhere, they all wear the same kind of shirts. They have a pair of khaki pants on. We go to dinner. If we go to a restaurant, we all go together. They all sit together. So it's team oriented and very, very, very special. And you got to see them. They don't wear the caps backwards. They don't wear them sideways. Okay.
A lot of that going on nowadays.
We don't allow that.
I don't know how
The old
that
saying
sun visor
is,
helps in the
yeah,
bag.
right. The old saying, we don't care where you've been, we want to know where you're going. Okay. So but we don't have problems. I'll have to say all our teams, and I've been involved with this for many years, and you know that. And I don't know of maybe once or two incidents where you've had an instance where we've had to call a young man in and talk to him about his actions.
Well, it's inevitable that's going to happen with that age group and competition. I mean, the fellows have got to be competitive, otherwise they wouldn't be on the team doing what they're doing.
Very competitive.
Now, how do y'all travel? You charter a bus, or does everybody hitchhike, or you get a caravan going, or
The way gas is, we might be hitchhiking.
you might be hitchhiking pretty soon?
Last year, Larry Stovasan provided the vans for us
He's going to this year.
at Paducah Ford.
Really?
Paducah Ford will furnish us with 2 very nice vans, and I want to say thank you to Larry and Paducah Ford. We don't have a chance to say them a lot of times, but that's another thing we tell all our people is we let them know who all our sponsors are, and if you can, go by and do business with them, say thank you. But Larry's been a very, very strong sponsor for Post 31 baseball for many years, and we just thank him and thank all the people out of Paducah for it because they're
So
wonderful.
it's a community. The entire community does get involved. I remember I saw Larry on this past Memorial Day, and his wife is
His wife, yeah.
decorated the Vietnam
Did you
Vets
see it?
Memorial
Well,
down there, and that's
I went over and thanked her for that.
yeah, isn't that beautiful? You know, I remember that thing's been about 24 years ago we put that up, and
Yeah, but
it's come a long
I
way.
couldn't believe how much work they'd done. What they did with it, and it's just, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I remember I had to go up after it was over and tell him. I said, you know, you look a lot thinner on TV. Because everybody says the TV adds 10 pounds.
Yeah, right.
It adds about 40 to me. But
Right.
anyway, that's nice of him that he will contribute to that stuff. How do you get there? Do you ride with the team?
I do.
Do you?
Sometimes I drive my car, but I'm always along with the team.
So that way you get to know the
Yeah.
the young men and their
I know
family.
all the kids.
Yeah.
I know them by first name and get along fine.
When you're on the radio talking about them, you ever
Yeah.
talk about any little personal things that you know about them, or little stories they've told you, or anything? Or
Oh, I have to watch what I say sometimes.
do you? I know that feeling.
We have a lot of fun though.
Well, that's what it's got to all be about. I mean, I know it's tough competition, and I know that you know that's one of the real big things for you all is the baseball program and a Brooks Stadium is beautiful facility.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the nicer facilities we play in. We've gone to a lot of colleges. And of course, I guess you at UK or somewhere like that, it's just nicer, but normally right here is as good as you'll find.
It is a beautiful thing. Now, I believe you brought some pictures of some past teams.
Yeah.
If maybe we can get Tammy to bring those up, and we can you can talk and maybe identify what year they are and
let's
some
see,
of the people that are there.
I believe this is the 1937 team. And one of the gentlemen, and I don't know the rest of them, but is standing over here. If I'm looking, it would be to my right. He's a young man with a T-shirt on, and he looks like he's on his knees. That is Dwayne Lowry. You know Mr. Lowry?
Yeah.
Lowry and Lindbergh
Oh my
attorneys?
goodness, yeah.
That was him. He was the team manager for that team. And Mr. Lowry still comes to the Legion. He's a Legionnaire, and he still comes over and has lunch with us a couple of days a week. And I've showed him that picture, and he gets a big kick out of that. And he has told me some of the other ball players at that time. But that's just one of the teams that we have pictures of and some history on. Now this one that's our first team. That was the first American Legion baseball team. And we have one gentleman that's still living in that thing, and that's George Burnett. I don't know where George is at in that, but another gentleman that was in that was Mr. Ed Hank. Ed Hank is over to the left up second. He was on that team. That team won the first state championship, American Legion state championship,
Really?
and they won it the year they played that. And Dr. Abel was in that too, Mr. Harry Abel. He was there. I'll just read the names. It's Leroy Conway, George Bach, Skippy Skinner. Second row was Harry Abel, and that was Dr. Abel that was here. George Burnett, and I said George is still living. Highland Grimmel, Jesse Turnstile. Third row back is Ed Hank, Harry Bud Kale, Donner Lowell Blackman, and Gary McKeesey. And that was the team. And a lot of those, two of those young men lost their lives in World War II.
Oh my goodness.
But the rest of them came back. That is a 1940 team here that played over at the old, I think I was told at a place called Lincoln Park, I believe. I think it was Lincoln Park. I think that's what it was. It was a park there that they played at. And that's a 1964 team. Some of those guys I know you'd know. One of them was Larry Sanderson.
Yeah.
Which is pipe fitters and plumbers and
Oh
pipe
yeah,
fitters.
yeah.
Yeah, he played on that team, a 1964 team, and I show him that picture. Ed Hank was at the time was one of the managers. Then we had Joe Freeland was the coach of that team, and quite a few other young men that was on that played on that ball club. I guess that's the team that probably put Paducah on the map as far as nationally. That's the 2000 runner-up National World Series. In other words, there was 5,400 teams that year, and we finished second.
Wow,
The state of
that's
California
amazing.
beat us 2-1 in Alton, Illinois, and we're real proud of those young men. And a lot of those young men now are back in this community, and and doing quite well. Almost every one of them went to college. They got them a scholarship, got them an education, and now they're. I know I've seen 2 or 3 of them at the ballpark, and now they've got little kids.
They got little players
they got
growing
little
up.
players and things. But we're real proud of those guys. That's the 2004. That's the most recent American Legion baseball team that went to the World Series in Corvallis, Oregon. We finished 6th in the nation that year. We got put out a couple of games earlier. We had a real good ball club. Went through the regional without losing a game and scored we averaged 14 runs a game.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we run through Cincinnati we killed them up there.
Gave them a spanking, didn't you?
I think
That
we were
was
the
a-
first team that played in that ballpark,
Right.
too.
Yeah, we
because
were
they
the first
just
team to
built a
play
new
at the
ballpark.
University of Cincinnati's new
Yeah.
ballpark.
No, boy.
The regional. So we were real proud of those young men. And all of those young men right there are all in school. They all got scholarships, and most of them are in school and still doing well. Some of them are, doing quite well.
That's great. That's great. I know she mentioned Ed Hank a couple of times
Oh, yeah.
as not only a player, but then coming back as a coach later on. And I remember that Ed was very active in the American Legion.
Yep.
I had no idea he had started that early, actually, but I know that Ed was quite an active person over at the post.
He was commander there.
Yeah.
Post commander, and his dad was post commander back in the 20s.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know
The
that.
original, Mr. Gus Hank the first. He was the commander in about 1926.
Yeah, I remember Ed was a good man. He was on the committee when we built the monument down
Yep.
there by the
Yep,
courthouse.
he
He was
was.
very active in
He
that,
was
along with several other people. But it's amazing that these people started like that and they're still in the community, and you can see how successful they've become. You've got doctors, lawyers, every walk of life where they've, like you say, gotten an education, and that's great. Let's talk a little bit more about Brooks Stadium. Like I say, it's a beautiful facility. I know that you all did an overhaul on that place. It's been some years back, it seems
We did.
like.
We started the overhaul on that in about 96 or 97, I think, went along into 97, 98. And the city came to us. Mayor Montgomery was the one. She was mayor at the time and came to the Legion because the park was going to be condemned. I mean, it was in that bad a
That's
shape.
right.
Yeah,
I
they
remember
were
that.
running
It was
motorcycles
getting ready
over there.
to tear it down and build a park there, or just put it away because it was just so much. And she came to the American Legion and asked the American Legion if we would spearhead a drive to save that park. And we said sure, because Legion had been playing baseball there for years, and Tillman had played there, and I even played there back in the 60s. So we got together with a committee, and we started going around and talking to businesses and talking to all the labor unions. And I've got to say that, let me tell you, that was a community project, Larry. I have, when I went to see Larry Sanderson at the pipe fitters and things, he said, "What do you need?" When I went to the Carpenters Union, Mr. Mitchell, he said, "What do you need?" I went to the iron workers, went to concrete masons. We went to all the different labor groups, electricians, Gary C. out at the electricians, and those guys. And all they said was, "What do you need?" But they said, "One thing we're going to ask of you is that you're going to tell us and you're going to promise us that that will be for youth only." In other words, baseball at Brooks Stadium will be for the youth of this community. And I said, "You're right. That's it. No one will make money off from it. Nobody will come in there and try to do stuff that this is for the youth of the community." And I promised them that. We've kept that promise. And now we've got probably one of the best parks between St. Louis and Memphis, if not the best, to play youth baseball.
Yeah, I know, it is beautiful.
I mean, and then when I say, but like we went to the lumber companies and all the different people in Paducah and they said, "What do you need?" Same thing. No one ever turned us down. They were willing to help us, and we got it done, but we got it done because it was a community project. Everybody pitched in. We had numerous concrete people come out and pour concrete and spread it, and concrete finishers, electricians, plumbers, everybody when they got a free hour or two, they would come out and work on the ballpark.
And that's, again, that shows how involved the community is, and and you all provide them with some real good entertainment with the baseball team.
When I tell people about it, I always tell them about that, because without the generosity of the city of Paducah, McCracken County, that ballpark wouldn't be here today. It'd be gone. And so it belongs to everyone.
Yeah.
They just let us. They just let the American Legion kind of run it for them. But,
well, I think you've done.
Well, we're proud to do that.
And I know
we're
you
proud
are.
Of our park.
I know you are. I know you enjoy the stadium facility. I'm sure they got a pretty decent place for you up there.
Yeah, a nice place to broadcast.
It's not too bad.
Anything is a step down in most cases.
So a lot of the other facilities you travel to are not quite as. It's like they say, there's no place like home.
Some places we've played, I've sat out right on a metal bleacher in the sunshine.
Oh,
and that does get hot.
That's
in
always
the dead
fun.
Of summer.
Well, guys, we're getting down to about the last couple of minutes here, and I always have some people afterwards say, "Gosh, I should have said this," or "I wanted to talk about that." Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to expound on or bring up or mention? Well, we still got a couple of minutes left.
Invite people to come out. The first game is on the 14th of June.
Flag Day.
And we need a crowd out there. Let's have a big season.
And what time's the game?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the evening.
7 o'clock.
Sometimes they'll start them at 6 if the team's far away from home, but most times 7.
7 o'clock.
But they got the concessions and stuff out there.
Yeah.
You got to have hot dog or.
There's plenty to eat, yes.
Yeah. Actually, it's we play 1 o'clock on Saturday. We play Evansville, and then 3:15 Evansville plays Moorhead, and then Post 31 plays Moorhead again at 6 o'clock. So it's kind of a double.
So you've got a full day of baseball on Flag Day then on the 14th.
Once we get started, we'll have over 50 games in a short time of a 2-month span.
And you normally have a pretty good crowd out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good crowd.
Last year we were 44-14, so that shows how many games we played.
Wow.
Now let me say this: if you're a veteran, okay, now you don't have to belong to the VFW, the American Legion, or the DAV. We wish you would, but if you're a veteran and you want to come to the ballpark, it won't cost you a penny.
Really? So the veterans get to come in, no
Veterans
charge?
come in free.
You got to bring some kind of
just bring
verification.
Verification. But other than that, you come in free. Children under 12 are free. If you're wearing your ball uniform or ball hat, you get in free. So we don't really charge a whole bunch at the ballpark.
You ain't in it for the money. You're in for the entertainment.
But it's $3. It's $3 a person for the ballpark, and but everybody else, it's more people get in free than charge. Okay.
And I know it's always a lot more. It's a lot more fun to go to a sporting event and see it live than it is on TV. There's something about the excitement.
You'll see some of the. You'll see the best of the best out there playing.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I appreciate y'all coming on the program today. I wish you a really good season. Maybe this is that year that we won't be second in the country. Maybe this is the year we'll hit that #1 spot and be the World Champion Series or World Series champion. Get the words right there.
We'll try it again next year.
If not, we'll just keep on trying.
But I'll give you a hat.
Oh, hey, man, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, I will put that. I'll wear that to the Legion next time I come over.
If you see that hat, that's a new era, and it's made in America. Okay?
There you go. I love it. Very good. Thank you, Hardy.
It's an American-made hat.
All right, and I would encourage all of you to get out there, go out to Brooks Stadium, watch a good, exciting ball game, have some family fun. Hope you'll join us next time on the Veteran Voice.